Hello, my lords and ladies, and welcome to the final main character episode of our Descent Act 2 Betrayer's War, painting Galaden. Very nice. Pretty easy on this one, a lot of contrast paints, nothing too crazy. As always, I always want to say thank you to all my YouTube members. You guys are amazing. Could not do this without you, and I mean that from the bottomest portion of my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, hit that bell, so you get alerted every time I go with a new video. But without further ado, let's go. Alright, trying something new here. Obviously, scrape off all your nasty mold lines and spray paint your entire miniature in white or bone wrath or whatever ivory white-based color you got. We're going to be doing a little bit of Gulliman Flesh on all of our skin, so the face and the hands, and you'll see how we take care of this in the end. And I actually like this technique a little bit more than I thought I would, so I might be using this in the future. Alright, for our little green areas, which is underneath the arms, the portion that's coming down from the waist area, we're going to be doing a little bit of Militarium Green. Also, do not forget the back areas on the cape that's kind of swirling in the wind. Alright, for Galaden's tunic, we're going to be doing a little Sigvald Burgundy. Now, I know what you're probably saying. This looks kind of weird, and it does, but this is kind of just the undertone. We're going to paint it up in the highlights step. So just trust the process and slap that on there. For the hair, we're going to be using some Cygor Brown. Now, I took it straight out of the pot, but you can also mix this with some Lamia medium if you would like. And this will cause it to give it that white undertone a little bit better. So it's up to you if you want a little bit lighter hair or if you want to keep it dark. It's really up to you. Alright, now for a little 4-segment shot here, we're going to be doing a little bit of Garaghak's Sewer. And we're going to put this onto our leather areas. So, shoulder pads, the straps coming down across the chest, the forearms on the right arm, around the waist area, that whole thing. You can slap it all on there, just do not get it onto the fur areas, as our fur is going to be done here in a minute. And do not get the steel pauldrons that are on the left shoulder of Galaden. We're also going to do this on the quiver on the back of our little elf here. For our bow, we're going to be doing a little bit of Wyldwood. Gives it that nice woody taste. And again, if you want to have more prevalent white sticking through, cut it with some contrast medium or some Lamia medium to thin it down. Or just some water, whatever you want to do. And like I had mentioned before, the fur area is just going to do a little bit of Apothocary White or Soulbright Grey, whatever you got. And that'll just get into the recesses, and we'll highlight those in a little bit. For the straps holding all of our armor together, I guess you could say, we're going to be doing some Snakebite Leather, and we're also going to use this on the bowstring as well. And not like we couldn't have steel without some Leadbelcher onto the swords of what Galaden's holding. We're also going to use this on the pauldron on the left shoulder going all the way down the arm. And be cognizant of the hilt area of the swords, as we're going to paint those gold. You can get the silver on there, that doesn't matter. We'll just paint over the silver here with some gold in the upcoming steps. And like I just said, the hilts and the portion sticking out on the bottom of our sword is going to be in Retributor Armour, and that's going to take care of it for all of the base paints. And not looking too shabby right now, but we're going to really spruce this miniature up here in the next steps. We're going to do some washes and then move on to highlights. Alright, to get into those recesses, we're going to use some Agrax Earthshade on all of our leather areas. And wherever it's I paint inside this little segment we're going to do. But predominantly the leather areas. You can also do the quiver as well and the bow if you would like. To add some depth to our green areas, we're going to take some Athnian Camoshade and put that in there. As you can tell, the white already sticks out. This is not going to cover the white up. It's just going to add some more depth to the recesses, which is going to make it look that much better. The swords are going to be some Nulin Oil, and you can get that onto the gold as well if you would like. Pretty simple. Alright, let's not beat around the bush on our face here. Let's just dive right in. We're going to take some Kislev Flesh. Now you notice that we put the Gulliman Flesh on there already, and it already made the recesses dark and the tops just normal. So, like I said, this might be my new favorite technique for painting faces. Hit the normal areas. Tops of the ears, bridge of the nose, cheekbones, lips, chin, forehead, underneath the eyes. Make it real simple. Once you're satisfied with that first layer, we're going to do the same thing with Flayed One Flesh. Now, this elf has very light skin, trying to match the card art. I can talk. And we're just doing over those same areas. Make sure you get the hands as well. And you did 2 coats of highlights, and your finished product on the face, besides doing the eyes, which we'll do here in a second, is really good. So again, saves you some time on that. To put in our eyes, now Galaden does have very distinctive orbitals, so we're going to put some Black Legion in there. You can use black paint. I was just trying some speed paints on there just to see how it works. You can kind of just fill that eyeball in, and it'll just leak all over to that eyeball and just get stuck there, and that's exactly what I did. Next, we're going to take about that big black portion of the orbital, the eye socket, and cover that with about 80% of white, just leaving a little bit of black out on the exterior around the white. Gives it some depth. I'm going to give him some green eyes. So I took some Warp Lightning and I just lightly put a little circle on each side. Just to kind of give him some of that greenness because he does have very distinct large eyes. And then finally I just put a little dollop, just very tiny bit, less is more, and give him a little eyeball with some Abaddon Black, and it should look pretty good. Alright, like I said earlier with the pink, I know you're probably thinking like, well, this doesn't match, this doesn't look good. World Bearer's Red. put that on top of all the raised areas of our tunic and leave the recesses with that pink, and it turns out to be like a pinkish reddish color, deep red color. Actually turned out to look pretty good. I actually enjoyed that one. Next, we're going to take some Nurgling Green. We're going to kind of use this to highlight up the raised areas. So on the front portion, a little bit on the back of like the tailwind of our cape that's being blown in the wind. And use this a little bit on some edge highlighting. Now, a lot of that white's already kind of sticking through, so you really don't need it. But it's up to you, really. But it does add a little bit of depth to that. It makes it look a little bit more fuller with the dark greens and the recesses coming to that lighter green out front. Gives it that sun-looking, hitting thingamabobber, photographic-looking thing. You know what I mean? And then for all the leather pieces, we're going to take some Mournfang Brown and just highlight up the raised areas. Now, this is a base color, but it does give it that nice leathery, kind of fresh leather look, especially with the elf with all this cool stuff on him. We got to make him look cool. Alright, highlight up with some Liberator Gold on all of our gold areas. Now, I know I forgot to mention to do those parts in the beginning. I should have had a screenshot of it, or film of it. You know what I mean? But yeah, we're just going to highlight those areas up just to give it a little bit more brightness. For the swords, pretty easy. A little Ironbreaker, a little edge highlighting on those things. Slap it on the main blade. Should look pretty good. To highlight up the fur, just get the fur. Obviously, don't put it in the recesses, and we're doing white. Pretty simple. So the main character's done. We're done with that. And we are working on the base. Now you can see that there is some sticks, wood areas. So we're going to take some of that Wyldwood and we're going to slap that on there. Next, you'll probably notice that there is a ton of leaves on there. They're very hard to see, but we're going to put some of that Mantis Warrior's Green on those leaves, followed by some Aggaros Dunes on the dirt areas around that. Following that, as you'll see, not in this clip, but the next clip, we're going to take some Basilicanum Grey and put those onto the rocks. Pretty simple, nothing crazy. And finally, some of your favorite part of painting the miniature, because it means you're done, the rim of the base. Going black. Just like my soul. Just kidding. Well, that's it. You made it. Not too shabby. Worked out pretty good with all those contrast paints, a little bit of highlighting. This miniature turned out pretty good. It didn't take that long. It's going to look fantastic on the board game table. Thank you for watching. Thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you so much to all my YouTube members. You guys will get early access to this video 2 days in advance, depending on how long it takes YouTube to upload this thing. Sometimes it takes a long time. I love you all, and I'll see you on the next one. Paint on.